Yo, what is up guys and welcome to another Wild Rift video, and today's video is gonna be a coaching session. So before we start this coaching session, because I did a coaching session earlier on my YouTube channel like a year ago, I want to ask you guys to be nice in the comments because not everyone is a challenger player, right? I'm currently gonna be coaching Miho DeLuffy. She's an Emerald 3 player or Emerald 4 player currently, I believe. So we're gonna be talking about what mistakes she makes, what she does well, and if you guys find it interesting, just let me know in the comments and stuff. If you are interested in coaching, I provide coaching through my Patreon. There's gonna be a link in the description. So Miho, what's up? How you doing?
Hi, hi. Oh my god, I'm talking to us.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is the nice girl, by the way, that always has something nice to say. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get going then. So my first question to you, and this is a question that I always ask. Well, I already know your rank because I asked it earlier, but in this particular game, you're playing Baron lane. Is this your main role, or like do you play other roles as well?
I play, my main role is support, which I'm
Oh,
really confident in. And I can do jungle, just average jungle
okay.
gaming. However, I really wanted to learn other lanes, which is why I decided to go Vayne Baron lane.
Yeah, of course, the most disgusting pick that you could possibly pick in the game, which is Vayne Baron lane. But that's interesting. You're a support player and you're trying out Baron lane, and you're immediately going for heavy fire, which is Vayne. And I can already tell that you're a support player. Okay, there you go. So now you're doing much better already. Because like very early on, I'm already gonna go back into this game. When you start a lane, when you, as a Vayne, you generally don't want to be taking minions like this. You kind of want to let the lane chill. And the enemy Mundo actually made a massive mistake by going for your minion. All you have to do as a Baron lane Vayne is just poke him. Every time he goes for the minion, you just hit him. Instead of attacking this minion that you're doing right here, is much better to just hit him all the time. Poke him, boom, boom, boom. And you did it perfectly here. Well, you missed the minion, but here, this. This is exactly how you want to play the lane as a Vayne Baron. You see? You're not allowing him to do anything. You're making it cost a lot of HP for him to farm. And if you continuously do that as a Vayne, especially against a champion like Mundo, like Garen, Fiora, Jax, all these champions, you can absolutely dominate them in lane. So like again, you see how you're pushing the wave? You're pushing the wave, and that's gonna cost you. Look, now the Mundo is doing a good job. You see, Mundo is just chilling and taking the farm. Why do you push like this? What is your thought process when you're pushing the lane like this?
To be honest, I really don't know how to lane per se. I just saw it from others, so I really don't have experience laning.
Yeah. Because like look what happened now. You see, this is exactly what happens when you push the wave. Because now there's 6 of your minions and 4 of his minions. Let's put this in a challenger game, right? Let's say you're up against a challenger Mundo. What is he gonna do, you think? What do you think the challenger Mundo does in this particular situation? What would you say?
I think he's gonna freeze the
Exactly.
wave.
Exactly. He's gonna freeze the wave, and especially because it's a Mundo, he has his first ability, which is a lot of range. He can just stay under his turret, freeze the wave, force you to overextend. Because if you want to farm this minion, look, you have to step up. You see, if you want to farm a minion, you have to overextend. Another thing that I would consider a mistake that you did is putting a control ward here in your jungle. This right here is not necessary. You shouldn't do this. It's your jungler's. Your jungler has to do this basically. Junglers always have to put vision in their own jungle because you need vision here. You see where I'm pointing with my mouse?
Yes.
Right here. Because if the enemy jungler is ganking you, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in big trouble because you're constantly overextending. You're not very overextended, but you're still quite overextended. So the most important, there's 2 important things right now that you're messing up in your lane. First of all, you didn't harass Mundo enough, and secondly, you shoved your wave too much. And keep in mind, I'm only talking in the perspective of a ranged Baron lane. If you play Vayne, Teemo, Cannon, these types of champions, you want to play it differently than if you play a tank. You want to be a bully. You want this wave frozen in your side. You know what I mean? You want the wave here.
Oh,
And you would have been able to do that if you actually let him push, because he was pushing. If you don't attack his minions in this particular situation, the wave is automatically gonna shove to your side, which is very advantageous to you. So your mistake already starts here. It may not even seem like a mistake to you, but taking these minions is a mistake when you play Baron lane Vayne. You wanna harass. So let's go back to here. Okay. I actually really like that you take the second ability here because the third ability is useless against Mundo. So in this particular, I'm not sure if it was a misclick or anything, but this particular matchup, I kind of like that you put another point in the second ability. Because you cannot push Mundo. He has this stupid anti-CC mechanic. Oh, you have the Japanese game as well. Like, look here again. Um, he's farming for free. You see, normally he would lose these minions. Normally, and this is all because of that early game that you did. Because you're pushing the wave. Now you can be extremely aggressive. Would you know why or not? Like now you can actually step up like crazy. And if I ask you why, would you know the answer?
I think it's the third skill because you can push him to the wall.
No. If you look at the minimap, their jungler is here. You see that? The jungler is here.
Okay.
So the jungler is here, and the mid laner is gonna be here as well. He probably went back to get some farm. So you can be extremely aggressive. However, there is a chance that the mid laner is ganking you. You could have been extremely aggressive if you had a vision. If you had vision here, basically, you shouldn't really play a control ward in Baron lane. Just play the normal wards and just keep these bushes warded. Because if you had these bushes warded, you could actually like right here, you could take his honey fruit. You could push the turret. You could do a lot of damage to him right here. Like this right here is the moment Vayne can shine. Let's see how you handle it. Wukong is also coming. Okay. You're pretty aware of your map. So this is useless. Do you know why this is useless?
I don't know.
So it would have been much better to put it in a bush. First of all, this is a control ward. So the enemies can literally see that it's a control ward. Secondly, if you put it in a bush, they won't see it until they walk into the bush. So like they'll see your control ward from far away, and they'll see that you know that they're here from far away. So whenever you put down a control ward, try to put it in a jungle bush whenever you can.
Okay.
You shouldn't be afraid, by the way, of the Mundo. Like here, you're a bit too afraid. And an advice that I have for you against Mundo, this may be a little bit advanced, but if you really try it, you may be able to pull it off. When he chases you like this, you'll wanna time your first ability with his first ability. I know it's a bit hard, but you can kind of predict when he does it. And even if you don't predict it, just sidestep with your first ability. Sidestep. Whenever he's chasing you, stay close to him because Mundo literally cannot kill you. Like that's the funny thing. Mundo will not be able to kill you. You can just sidestep it and you'll do a lot of damage to him, and very likely you'll dodge his first ability as well.
Okay.
I love the sound of this skin, by the way.
Yeah, the skin is pretty sick on Vayne.
Yeah. Okay. You're far. So right here, you missed this minion. This minion was actually quite an easy minion. The way you want to approach a minion like this is a small minion, right? These are not tanky at all. So when you do this, like look, it gets to this HP and it dies. So when a very small minion, this one is okay, but this one has low HP. So whenever this one is at like 3/4 HP and there's 4 minions of yours attacking it, you don't want to touch it. Just let your minions chunk it down. Just let your minions do their thing. And then you'll last hit it. Whenever you see the white, that's when you last hit it.
Okay.
Okay. Small advice as well. Actually, perhaps a bit advanced, but when you use your first ability on Vayne, I'm not sure if you knew about this. If you roll, it rolls you a certain distance. It costs like, I don't know, like half a second for you to roll, and then you do an empowered attack, right? You knew that's how the first ability works, right?
Yes.
However, if you're standing here and roll into the wall, what happens is you instantly roll way faster than if you would have rolled on the map. So you can stay on top of a wall, basic attack a minion, immediately use your first ability on the wall, and you will instantly do another basic attack. Like, it will give you instant burst damage. So like you can stay close to a wall, basic attack, first ability, basic attack. It's instant. like if you don't know about this yet, you should. I definitely recommend you to watch the Vayne videos I made because I always do it. It's really nice. It's really good for turret pushing, minion pushing. It just allows you to do more damage in a shorter period.
I will. I think this is my seventh game on Vayne. Not
Okay,
really.
okay, that's not a lot. That's still fine. By the way, this enemy does counter you. If we look at this enemy composition, which champions in particular would you say are a counter to Vayne? Because you do need to understand when to pick Vayne. If you look at this enemy comp, so let's start with Mundo. Is Vayne a good pick into Mundo?
Yes, I think. Because
Yeah,
he's a tank.
exactly. Vayne is an incredible pick into Mundo. And next up is Olaf. Would you say Vayne is good into Olaf?
I'm not sure, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Olaf is a bit of a 50-50 because if he gets ahead and uses his ultimate, you can't push him back, but you can do a lot of damage. So Olaf is a bit of 50-50. Katarina, what would you say about Katarina? Because she's an interesting one. Would Vayne be good into Katarina, you say?
I really hate Katarina.
The thing, yeah.
I'm not really. I can't.
So Vayne has one good thing against Katarina. See, the problem with Katarina is she can pretty much one-shot you, but you can build Wit's End on Vayne. So first of all, Vayne does decently well into these mage assassins. You know, Akali, Katarina, Gwen. Because you build a Wit's End. You need to keep that in mind. Vayne is generally good against those types of champions. Secondly, Katarina, when she ults, you can cancel her ult. You know how?
I don't know.
With Vayne's third ability. You will push her. You don't even need to push her into the wall, by the way. You will just straight up cancel her ultimate. So when Katarina goes in, she ults. All you have to do is use your third ability. Whether you push her into a wall or anywhere else, you will cancel her ult. Next up is Katarina. So what would you say about Katarina? I'm gonna explain, by the way, after these champions, how you need to think when you pick a champion like Vayne in draft. Sorry,
So,
Caitlyn, not
on
Katarina.
my. For Caitlyn is also range, so I think I could not or can catch up to her because I think Vayne has or she runs faster with passive, I think.
Yeah, yeah, you're
But
right. But you said but.
but it actually depends on how good the player is if I can be able to beat Caitlyn or not.
Yeah. The thing about Caitlyn is generally you don't really want to pick Vayne too much into these longer range champions because Caitlyn, for example, she can do a lot of damage to you before you get to her. And even if you get to Caitlyn, she has her third ability to push herself back. And Caitlyn has these stupid traps. When you walk into the trap, you become visible, so your
Yeah.
ult will be useless, and she can keep you away. Ashe is also a counter to Vayne, and for a different reason. First of all, for the same reason, sorry, and then there's another reason as well. You know, Ashe has long range, Ashe can stun you for a long time, and most importantly, Ashe has her third ability to reveal you. Champions that can reveal you already kind of counter Vayne because Vayne being invisible during her ultimate is actually an incredibly important part of her kit. So let's actually talk about how to draft Vayne because Vayne is a pretty strong champion. You can technically pretty much always pick her, but oh, nice one. You looked at your map and you saw that the Wukong was struggling and you helped him. Really well played. This was nice. Very good map awareness. But let's talk about drafting Vayne. So Vayne is always good against tanks. You know, Darius, Garen, Alistar, these types of champions. Wukong, any tank, like full-on tank, Rammus, you know, these types of champions, Vayne will destroy these tanks. Vayne is decent against mage assassins because of the reason that I told you about, you know, Evelyn and stuff. Because you go Wit's End. And then Vayne is not that good into long range champions that can poke her really hard. Like Orianna, for example, will destroy a Vayne. Like Caitlyn, as I said, Ashe. Jhin is a bit questionable because it really depends on how good the Jhin is. And another thing you need to know is Vayne is a 1v1 queen. Even if a champion counters Vayne, you will 9 out of 10 times you will be able to 1v1 that champion. So like you want to look for those 1v1s when you play Vayne. Right here, okay, let's see how you approach this. So you go for Demolish on Vayne. I really don't recommend Demolish on Vayne because Demolish does more damage the more health you build. Not sure if you knew that, but the more
I
health
don't
items you
know.
build, yeah. So Demolish is way better on tanky champions. On Vayne, you just kind of want to go for Hunter Genius or Sweet Tooth, one of those two. You don't want to go for Demolish. It's just not worth it on Vayne. Let's see. So right here, you have the choice of going to the dragon, help your team, or go back to your lane. What? Like, let's actually see what you do first. Seems like you're going back to your lane. Let's see. Caitlyn is dead, and you're going back to your lane. Do you always go back to your lane? Or do you also? Well, actually, you don't have a lot of experience playing Baron lane, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
So, hmm?
4 or 5 games in Baron. Rank first game ranked Baron or 2 games.
Okay. Oh, I want to
My
talk about
first
that fight, by the way.
actually on Baron Lane Vayne first time ranked. I did practice her in ranked. It was yeah, it was a very very bad loss, and it's actually on trio.
Oh,
But I had to watch videos, and then I had to or study how she works. I played PvPs and ARAMs. Then I
okay.
was able to get to this, or I was able to try, or I was actually just contemplating trying her on ranked again solo queue.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, you're doing pretty well. I want to be nitpicky though during this fight, just to teach you all the stuff about Vayne, because your call was actually pretty good to go back to the lane, because Mundo was pushing. Your team already killed Caitlyn. So like, even if your team loses the dragon, you can just kill Mundo for free. So let's talk about how you fought Mundo. You actually engaged like this. This is I wouldn't say this is a mistake, but it's much better. Like, he cannot see you if you're before this wall. I'm not sure if you knew how this mechanic works. If you're standing here, he cannot see you because there's a wall. Okay? So what you wanna do in a situation like this, because normally when you do this, a smart player will walk away. He can see you now. He will walk away and you won't kill him. He doesn't actually walk away, as you can see. So, like here you can see he's using abilities and I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's not walking away. A good player would have walked away and survived. The way you could have killed him 100% is here you use your ultimate, right here, and then you use your first ability and run towards him. Because when you use your first ability, you become invisible for 1.5 seconds if you don't attack him. So you can use your ult here, first ability all the way here, then you exhaust him and you will kill him. Even if he flashes away, you'll kill him. So it's much better to approach a fight like that than the way you did it. Because in higher elos, people are not gonna fall too much for this. Because when they see you, they're just gonna run away. So just immediately use your ultimate and make sure you use your first ability to get out of that place. Because he didn't have vision right there. He wouldn't see you and you would kill him for free, easily. Right here, you're wasting time, by the way. So in this situation, your flash was nice because you escaped the Katarina. Right here, you just take the heal, you go to this bush, and you go back. Because what are you supposed to do? Like, look, you're wasting valuable time right here. You take the heal at 5 minutes 36. Let's take a look at how much time you actually waste. Because it may not feel like you're wasting a lot, but let's actually just take a look. From 5:36
yeah.
all the way until 5:48. You just wasted 12 seconds doing nothing. You see? Look, you're not doing anything. You know that you cannot stop Katarina. You know it. She has infinity orbs. She will one-shot you under the turret. Why are you staying under your turret instead of just going back and teleporting back right here? Why do you do that?
I'm not quite sure. I'm contemplating about beating her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
thought I
you're
was.
not gonna beat her. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Katarina is just gonna destroy you. And if you're low HP like this, just go back. Like, unless you really know you can make a play, which is not possible here because it's number one, it's a Katarina. Number two, she has infinity orb, so she will literally one-shot you. But if you can make a play, for example, if you had barrier or flash or something like that, sure, you can stay and try to make a play. But right here, you have nothing. You don't have flash, you don't have exhaust, you don't have ult, you have nothing. So she's just gonna kill you. So in this situation, screw your turret. Just go here, Go back, buy your items, heal up, and come back to your turret. I know you're gonna lose turret plates, but you're gonna lose them anyways. You know, I like to say, like, in a chessboard, you can be in a losing position. But even if you're in a losing position like this, there's always a best move. And your best move right here is to just go back, take the L, and come back to your lane. Instead of staying and wasting even more time like you did right here. You see? Now you're wasting even more time and she's gonna get even more. You know, she's gonna get even more because you did this. Okay, so you should pay attention to how your team is doing. In the earlier stages of the game, they were doing okay, but now clearly they are struggling, right? Olaf stole the dragon. Olaf just got a triple kill. Now your playstyle needs to shift a little bit. You've had a very selfish playstyle throughout this game, which is okay. Like, don't get me wrong, it's okay. Um, but you need to shift your playstyle. You need to help your team a bit more. And yet again, this ward is never place a
Yeah.
ward like this. Never. Like, as a Baron laner, just use the yellow wards. You know, you can put a ward in this bush. You can put a ward on Rift Herald. You can put a ward in their jungle if you get there. You can put a ward in this bush. There's so many important wards. You don't need to put a ward in your jungle. It's useless. You don't need to do that. So I really recommend you to play with the yellow wards, the normal wards, instead of the control wards when you're playing a Baron laner. It's just you're a support player, so it seems like you just want to play control wards because you're a support, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. I love how you're trying to stick to one target. That's definitely the type of playstyle you need to have as a Vayne. Really, really nice. Let's actually look through this fight again because you actually played this fight incredibly well. So right here, your positioning was okay. However, yet again, I would have recommended you to use your ultimate in the beginning. Like, as a Vayne, really try to use your ultimate before you engage. Because look at what happens here. Look, you use your ultimate, but your first ability is on a 2-second cooldown. Look, 1, 2. You took all this damage because your ability was on cooldown. And when you use it, look, now you're invisible. You see? This is the difference between using your first ability with your ultimate and without your ultimate. If you had used your ultimate, if you had just used your ultimate here, let me tell you what would have happened. You ult here, and then you use your first ability, you go into a bit of a safer position, and then you start attacking them. If you did that, Olaf would not have done all this damage to you right here. Look, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh.
You would have been full HP right here with your ultimate active, and you would have killed all of them easily. And right here as well, it seems like you're not that confident in yourself yet playing Vayne. You need to grow a bit of confidence because playing Vayne properly requires confidence. Like right here, don't use your first ability here. Use it here, towards them. You're strong enough.
Oh.
Use it here. You're destroying, like you can destroy the Mundo. You know, you push the Olaf away, sure, you don't need to go back. You could just go towards them. You're gonna kill them. You're gonna destroy them. Especially because you have a Soraka with you as well. So you need to look at the. It's not you alone. When you have a, when you have a healing support or karma or something that can give you a barrier, you can be more aggressive because you're gonna get that healing or the barriers. But I do want to say you played the fight quite well because you stuck to one target all the time. That's exactly how you want to play Vayne. You want to make sure you hit those 3 basic attacks in a row whenever you can, and then if you want to switch targets, then sure, because the true damage is incredibly important as a Vayne. By the way, if you have questions in between, you can just always ask them, FY. So you're rotating to the mid lane here. Why do you rotate to the mid lane like this?
Was actually looking for possible team fight, but then when I look back, Mundo is there with the
Okay.
Herald, so I went.
Okay. No, I actually like that you did that. It's a good gesture to your team because you do need to help your team. If a team fight happened, I think you did a good job there going to mid lane. That was a nice kill as well. You didn't even need your ultimate, although I would have used my ultimate there because I'm not sure what this Mundo is doing. I think he's just not using his. Oh, he's probably not using his ult. Here you can kill her, by the way. Again, grow confidence. You can easily kill this Katarina. Easily. Like, really easily. Look, you're so afraid. You see that? Because look, let's talk about why you could have easily killed her. First of all, you can either flash out of her ultimate, or you can push her out of the ultimate, which you did perfectly. Here you flashed out of her ultimate. You've basically already denied like half her damage. Another thing, look, she's level 8, you're level 10. Another thing, you have your ultimate. You need to fight this Katarina. You will destroy this Katarina. She has no chance. Like if you ult and you go towards her and you push her into the wall or something, she's gonna die instantly. You don't have to run away from her. You don't have to be afraid of Katarina. You stun her into the wall, but again, you're running away.
I think I got distracted.
You could like all the damage you took because you were running away. You could have easily killed her right there. Let me just tell you that. And actually, even if you don't think you can get a kill, I really recommend you to still go for it. It's a concept that I like to call limit testing. Not sure if you're familiar with what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to limit test. Like, even if you don't think you can do something, just try it. You're not only limit testing the champion, you're also testing yourself basically, because you're never gonna get better when you stay in your comfortable spot, right? Like you don't want to fight Katarina, oh no, ooh, but you're never gonna get better when you play it like that. If you do fight the Katarina and you win, you learn, and if you lose, you also learn, right? You learn in both ways. Just go for it, like that. That's how you learn. Just go for these plays, try to do it, and you're gonna learn from it regardless. Especially if you look back at it. Here you have to be careful. You never want to frontline as a Vayne. Never. So like right there, I would say it was a mistake. You want to make sure your Alistar goes in before you, or your Wukong or something. You never want to be the one in front. Never. You're also not using you're not using Demolish. There you go. You're not positioned very well here. You want to be extremely careful here. Yeah, exactly. This is what happens if you overstep into long range champions. Like, you see? You get punished immediately
Yeah.
because both of them are so long range. This is why I said that, picking Vayne into these longer range type of champions is a bit risky because, look, they can destroy you. If it's long range, you can't even get close to them and they will just straight up destroy you. So positioning is definitely key with Vayne. I told you earlier with your ultimate, you can be invisible during fights, but also before a fight starts, you don't want to be in front like that. Make sure your teammates go in front and then you follow up. Also, about the draft, it's actually a good Vayne pick because your team already has 2 tanks. So I really liked that you only picked Vayne because your team already has an Alistar and a Wukong. You never want to pick Vayne if your team only has like 1 tank or something, right? So it's really, really nice that you
Yeah.
realized that in this game. Another tip that I have for you, before approaching a lane like this, you can clearly see stuff is happening, right? There's 3 enemies, 2 allies. You need to put your finger on the map to just quickly see what's happening. And another thing is there is a setting in Wild Rift which allows you to see how much HP everyone has on the map. Like you can actually see if the Caitlyn is low, if your Wukong is low. Are you familiar with that setting? Like you can actually see how low everyone
Oh,
is.
I'm actually not familiar with any
Because I
setting,
have
I
it.
think.
Let me actually show you because I actually have this setting. So you can see how useful it is. Let's just go to one of my older games. So you can see how incredibly useful it is. Look at my map. You see that? You can see that Darius is at like 20% HP. Look, he is at 20%
Yeah.
HP. You can see Kha'Zix is at like 95. You can see Diana is coming with 90% HP. This is extremely useful. You really need to, like, I really recommend you to do that because then, even without putting your finger on the map, you could have actually seen how much HP they have and you would have known whether or not you can actually go in and engage. So I really recommend you to give that a
And
try.
one thing about me, I really get confused or dizzy when I move my finger on the map. I really
Ah,
look at the map at the side. I never attempted to do that because sometimes I'm bumping onto the walls and sometimes I don't know where I'm at. Yeah,
okay.
boomer thing.
So
I
that
literally look at the map at the side. That's how my map awareness, or that's how far it goes.
That's okay, but that means the setting that I just told you about is infinitely more important for you. Because then you don't actually have to use
Yeah.
your finger. You'll know everyone's HP just by looking at your map. Oh, right
Oh,
here,
by
by the way, right here, you definitely want to leave the dragon. 100,000,000% you want to kill the Olaf. Like, this is a massive mistake. You could have easily lost that dragon, just so you know. You definitely wanted to go on the Olaf right there because he was alone. See how your ultimate was wrong again, by the way? You
I
haven't
really
used
don't know how to use it.
Yeah, you have not used your ultimate properly this game yet. Because look at what you do. You use your first ability, it's not gonna be empowered, and then you ult. So you're not even utilizing the invisibility of the first ability, you see? That's a
Oh,
massive upgrade you get from the ultimate, the invisibility of the first ability. So I really always recommend you, before you or when you use your ultimate, use it when your first ability is off cooldown. So you ult and then you use first ability, become invisible, and you can either attack an enemy fast or you can hold it and walk while being invisible for 1.5 seconds. 1.5 is a long time, just so you know. Like, you can get from here all the way to here in 1.5 seconds. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm not sure if it's something with my headphones, but
yeah. I don't know really how to use the combo of the skills yet.
yeah, that's all you have to do. So you ult, and then you immediately use your first ability. That's really the most important thing you need to know. And then after that, you just need to try some stuff. But that is the most important thing about Vayne when you ult. Use your first ability after, so the enemies have no idea where you went, because you're literally gonna become invisible. It's so important. Yeah, yet again, you see how it would have been useful for you to have that setting turned on, where you could see how much HP they have. Because sure, you don't want to look around the map because you get dizzy, that's fine. But you do still want to know how much HP they have. So having that setting is really invaluable to you. You definitely 100% need it. 100%. Like, look, you don't even know how much HP they all have here. It's kind of funny. Okay, you ult, but again, look, you're ulting, but you didn't use your first ability immediately. Like, let's take a look at this again. Right here, you could have actually bullied them quite a lot by using your ultimate and then your first ability, because they wouldn't know where the hell you would be. And then suddenly, boom, you show up here, or boom, you show up here. They will literally not see you. It's crazy. Like, look, yet again, you're taking a lot of free damage because you used your you didn't use your ultimate properly. Now you're lucky that your Soraka actually healed you, as you can see.
Yeah.
But so I really want to say this Soraka is playing really well. If you didn't have this good Soraka, you would get punished a lot this game for not using your ultimate properly. Like, that's definitely the main thing. You're pretty good at Vayne. I just want to say that you're actually playing Vayne pretty well. Because you are basic attacking the same targets over and over again, so you're utilizing the true damage a lot. But the big thing is just the ultimate, really. Another tip that I have for you for this particular game is QSS. Do you know what QSS is?
Quicksilver enchant.
Exactly. So Quicksilver Enchant is a really nice enchantment to go for on Vayne. I know it can be a bit hard to use, but in this game, the only thing that's really holding you back from being extremely aggressive is probably the Ashe ultimate. However, if you have QSS, you can actually play extremely aggressive, and even if she ults you, you can just QSS it. Like, look here. This positioning is way too aggressive, by the way, yeah. So let's talk about what happened here. Yeah, you see how you did it again? Look, you did it again. Look at what happened between your ultimate and your first ability. Just look. You engage the fight. Look, you use your first ability, and then you use
And then,
ultimate. Yeah. Do you see how detrimental that is? Because now, like, you could have been invisible. They wouldn't have been able to know where the hell you were. Another thing that I want to tell you, you made another mistake. So this was already a mistake, but then the way you use your first ability here, this is also a mistake. Do you know why
yeah,
or not?
it's going forward.
You know what's funny? That's not even your mistake. Let's take a look at it again. Look. So you use your ultimate and then you first ability and you immediately attack him. Remember when I told you that when you use your ultimate, your first ability can make you invisible for 1.5 seconds? 1.5. So what you could have done
Oh,
right here, you could have, for example, I'm just giving an example, ulted here, walked all the way here in a bit of a safer position, and then attacked Olaf. You could have done it like that.
Okay.
Or you could have walked here. Or you could have walked here and just killed the Mundo. What you do instead is you instantly roll in. This is already not that good of a roll, but it's okay. If you stay invisible, I'm honestly not sure how this interaction works with Olaf because he did use his third ability, but if you stay invisible, you can actually walk back here to safety. But because you immediately hit someone, you like look, now you're sitting in the middle of three people, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
You see that? So I really recommend you should probably hop into practice mode to really learn this thing about Vayne's first ability. First of all, really make it muscle memory to first use your ultimate and then your first ability instead of using first ability and ultimate. And then practice around with the longer first ability, like the long invisibility. Like really check out how long you can hold it so you know that you can use it like that. Because you're never using it like that. You're always instantly basic attacking after your first ability. You're pretty much always doing it like that. And it's not always the best
Yeah.
solution. It's not always the best way to play Vayne. Let's see. You could take the red buff. It's fine because you're doing pretty well. Why do you always stick to the control art? The control art.
Of course.
Yeah, here you
So,
don't even have. Oh, you see? Look, you did it here. Look. You see? This is what I was talking about. Boom. You see? When you roll into a wall, you will instantly roll. You see that? Look, you did it yourself here. Boom, and you will instantly basic attack. You see that? So you can do basic attack and instantly roll into the wall, and you will instantly basic attack. It's really, really fast. Really fast. Oh, another tip I have for you, by the way, when you're taking Baron, to make sure you're not taking any damage when you're attacking the Baron, you can stay either behind this wall right here, or behind this wall right here. Either spot
yeah.
works. You can stand here, attack the Baron, and you're not gonna take any of the like any. You see all this damage, you're not gonna take any of it. So you can stand behind this wall or this wall, and you're gonna be able to attack the Baron for free. Just a small, like if you're very low HP, you should do it like that. Otherwise, of course, the Baron is gonna kill you. You could push more, by the way, right here. Like you can win any 1v1, so you shouldn't really be afraid to push alone. I would say this is a bit of a time waste. You don't really need the blue buff. You could have pushed the wave, and you could have already almost been at their turret already. Normally, I would say to look at the map before going for this, but again, you don't like to do that, which is fine. But you definitely, like with that setting, you would have known how much HP they had. Really, really important.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Here, you can easily kill.
Okay.
You can easily kill Caitlyn here. By the way, you can just use ult first ability. So right here, look, the way you could have easily killed Caitlyn. You use your ultimate first ability, and then you flash to her. She's not gonna see that you flashed because you're invisible. Then you exhaust her and she's dead. You see that? Right here?
Yeah.
You can use your, like, look, she's right here. She's right here. You can use your ultimate, roll, use your boots, flash towards her, exhaust her. Look, she's gonna die. She's literally gonna. You don't even have to use your ultimate. You could have just flashed and exhausted her, and she would just die. She would straight up die. Because remember, when you're chasing an enemy as a Vayne, you get bonus movement speed. Not sure if you knew that already, but whenever you're chasing
Yeah.
an enemy, you get bonus movement speed. Which is even more when you ult, by the way. So you can very easily chase enemies as a Vayne. So to me, it really, really feels like you're pretty good at Vayne, but you just haven't found Vayne's limit yet. Like Vayne can do a lot more than you think. That's why people hate Vayne, because she's so unbelievably strong. And in the right hands, she will 1v9 the game like crazy. Like she's so, so powerful. So I really recommend you to limit test more with her. Try to do more stuff. Try to make these flashy plays and stuff. Like here, fight. Just fight them. maybe you're gonna lose, maybe. But like when a situation like this, just do it. Just so you know what the champion is up to. Like just use your ultimate, just go in, just try to flash her, stun her into the wall, sorry. Just try. Like that's how you learn. Instead of flashing away from moments like these, just go for it. Just go for it and see what happens. Like that's the number one advice I have for you. Stop playing it safe. Take risks. Take risks and go for the plays. Like just go for it. That was nice. You could go for the Olaf here, by the way. Okay. Your positioning is really, really nice here, by the way. This is really nice positioning. You see how you're maintaining a good position so the enemies cannot reach you, but you can reach them. Really, really nice. That was very good. Yeah, don't be afraid of her. Okay. You died because you didn't push her. Look, if you use your third ability on her, you could have pushed her out of her ultimate. She goes in. Here you can use your third ability. You will push her away and you will just straight up kill her. But because you didn't push her away, she actually killed you. See that? You only pushed her away last second. So when you're playing against a champion like Katarina, really try to pay attention to this. Like, you really want to put it in your head. I have to ult her. I have to stun her. I have to stun her when she ults me. So whenever she goes on you, you have your finger ready on the stun. And whenever she ults, boom, you instantly stun her. And she has no chance to win a fight like that. Same would be against like Samira or something, right? When she ults, you instantly push her away. It's like you need to make it muscle memory as well. You need to have your finger ready on it.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. Look, I know it's hard. But if you want to get better at this game, you really need to try to force yourself to do things like this.
When I actually told my friends that I'll do Vayne Baron, they were honestly shocked
Why?
because I don't Baron lane.
That's
And they were
fine.
actually thinking, is it is Vayne OP right now, or do we know something that, or do I know something they don't? It's just going to be a personal goal because I really wanted to learn how to lane Baron lane. Yeah,
Yeah.
just try out different things if I can do it or not.
Oh yeah, you can definitely learn it. Like you just need to know how to play with waves. And I recommend you to, for now, I recommend you to stick to ranged baroners like Vayne, so you get
Yeah,
it down, and then you can swap up. And I told you, generally with ranged champions, you wanna freeze. However, if you have good vision and you know where the enemy is, you can push and bully. So you can either freeze or you can push and bully. And I only really so like let's go back to the beginning of the game. That's really the only two concepts you need to know about ranged laners. Freezing, like here you wanna freeze, and whenever he steps up, you attack him. But here, remember that moment when we saw Olaf in the mid lane? Um,
yeah,
Not sure if I can get it here, but if you remember that moment, let's see, was it here? Yeah, here. Here, you can push and bully, right? Because it's changed. In the beginning, you didn't know where Olaf was. He could have been here. He could have been here. You didn't know, and you didn't have vision. Because of that, you kind of want to freeze the wave, and whenever he steps up, you just hit him with a couple attacks and do a lot of damage, and that's it. But because you see Olaf here now, you can be aggressive. You can start harassing him, right? Push the wave, harass him. So you really need to have good map awareness, and especially whenever you see the jungler, you need to know, okay, now I can be aggressive because the jungler is not in my lane. Because the jungler is often going to be the one that's going to gank your wave, right? And also change this stupid ward to the normal ward.
which is why I selected this game. I know it's not really. I know I did well in the game, but I know in myself that there are a lot of mistakes in this game, so I pushed
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
And that way I
So
get to learn.
definitely. So like I looked at it in a higher elo perspective. Because of course, if you do this in platinum or emerald elo, you're gonna be okay most games. But you wanna rank up, right? And if you wanna rank up,
Yeah.
you need to play like a better player. You need to destroy every matchup you are in lane. And Vayne is the type of champion to do that. So those are the most important things I have to say to you. Do you have any questions to me?
Not really.
I mean, if you have questions later, you can always send them in DM. That's also part of it, of course. Um, you don't have questions now. That was the most important advice that I gave you. You should change the setting as soon as possible so you don't forget. By
Yeah.
the way, and
Um,
yeah, I think that's it then, huh? You don't have any questions? I have nothing else to say.
For for being or new time Vayne, I think I did well in damage, or I
Wait,
not really.
I'm not sure why it's not loading anymore. What the hell is happening? Come on, you did well in damage. You said
Or
28.2
it's just
thousand damage.
normal.
Honestly, like I'm gonna be honest with you, you could have done way more damage this game. Like you should have done like 50k damage this game, just so you know. This is okay.
Yeah.
Like, this is not bad. This is okay, but you were pretty ahead in this game. You could have done a lot more damage this particular game. You could have solo carried this game. You did really well this game. Don't get me wrong, you did really really well. But you could have destroyed this enemy. You
Yeah.
could have destroyed this enemy. All right. Wow, this has been 46 minutes already. It felt like half an hour or something. But yeah. Thank you so much, Miho. I had a good time doing this. And
Thanks so much, guys.
no problem.
Means a lot.
So if anyone is interested in getting a coaching session for me, there's a link in the description to the Patreon. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next Wildrift video. You want to say bye bye with me?
Bye bye.
Bye bye.